Howdy everyone, this is LockNutz, and you're watching a map tour of Goldcrest Valley by Puma 145. Hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens. Howdy, 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 how are you guys doing today? Oh my goodness, I tell you what, today we get to go on a map tour of Goldcrest Valley by Puma 145. This little bad mamma jamma is 281.38 megabytes to download, and yes, it is very cross-platform friendly, you betcha. Now, this map here is based off of the Golden Oldie from Farming Simulator 17, and it is done very, very well. I really like the way all this stuff looks. Now, the way we go about doing things here is we start things off on new farmer mode. That way you guys know what you'd start off with if you did start off on new farmer mode. We'll do a little bit of that, and then we'll take a little tour around the map to see where everything is at and what things look like. So at this point, let's go ahead and take a second and look at what equipment you'd start off with in new farmers mode. Tractors wise, you start off very classy with one Kloss tractor. Medium tractors, you start off with one Zetor and one John Deere. Harvesters, you start off with one Dutzfar topliner, and that comes with one Dutzfar topliner grain header. Trailers, you start off with one Welger trailer. Cultivator, you start yourself off with one of three starting Amazons. You start off with one cultivator here. Power harrow, you start off with an Amazon, and then seeder, you get all three of them together, you have an Amazon seeder, not too shabby. Weights, you start off with 1, 2, and 3 weights, so not too shabby. Nice little kit to get yourself rocking and rolling. Let's go ahead and take a look at what you'd start off with on the map. And to those of you who are very familiar with Goldcrest Valley from Farming Simulator 17, this does look pretty familiar to you. Got a lot of stuff happening up here. Nice spread out. You have pretty much regularly shaped fields, not too shabby. You have all the bits and bobs that are new to FS22. You have all the production facilities. You have trains out here for taking stuff and selling stuff off. Not too shabby. There are animals that you do start off on here. This stuff does not become available when you are in any other modes. You do have to start off in this mode to have this stuff placed right here. But you have your cow pasture, your sheep pasture, pig enclosure, chicken coop, and where the heck is it? And your horses up here. So you do have all that on the map. Starting off though, you do start off when you're on new farmers mode, you start off with the main farm area, which is 235,000. Field 15, field 14, and field 12. Now, taking a look at price wise on this map, the cheapest field you can buy is field 19, coming in at $35,000, and the most expensive field that you can buy is $715,000, almost $716, not too shabby. Now, that was the most expensive fields that you can go ahead and buy. Plots of land, that's a slightly different story. Cheapest plot of land you can buy is right here. $0. That is a win in anybody's book. So if you're going ahead and starting off on any mode, you could go ahead and buy this chunk of land and build your farm up pretty easy. And it also does allow you to purchase this and put a bunch of placeables on it that you would like to. It's free. I mean, you can't beat free. You really just can't beat free. Opposite end of the spectrum, you can buy the town for $1.6 million, which then if you want to go ahead and put different sell points in there or anything like that, you have the option to put it in the town along with everything else. Now on this map here, every chunk of land is for sale. All the fields are relatively decent priced for their sizes. It all actually works out pretty nice. And then you do have these other chunks of land. You do have some that are a little bit more expensive, but then as you kind of wander around, you will find bits and bobs that are a little bit cheaper, a little bit more realistic for price ranges. So that's what you got going here on the map. Not too shabby, looking good. Let's get out and take a look what the map looks like from down below. All right, so one of the things I want to go ahead and do is I want to turn the map on in the corner so that you guys can kind of follow along with me as you go. Now, one thing I forgot to mention here when it comes to all of the equipment, you get all of the equipment to start off with no matter what you go ahead and do. All the modes, you get all the equipment. Not for buildings-wise. Buildings-wise, you do not start with this or any of this stuff over here. This stuff is not on here. But the rest of the items heading up that way, that stuff is all on. So just depending on how you want to go about doing this, you should be pretty good. I do take that back. I believe there's a shed up there that's not on here. As for specialty items that you'd end up starting off with on here, there are a couple things, and you kind of already see them out here for the most part. Buildings-wise, you do start off with this shed right here, which is this guy right here, this workshop. And then this shed that's right here. This you will actually go ahead and see it's up by the silo right now. And speaking of silos, the silo is another specialty item that you can go ahead and place down. That's really all there is. And then when it comes to being able to demo any of this stuff out, it does not show up as an indicator like you normally would see. Nope. It does not show up as an indicator, which you normally would be able to see, but you can go ahead and sell some of this stuff. So if you're not sure what you can go ahead and sell, what you can go ahead and do... Oh, there we go. That one does pop up. There we go. Yeah, these two items are not up here either when you do start off. If you want to go ahead and sell things, you just kind of got to bob around and pick and see what you can go ahead and find. So kind of keep that in mind when you're going ahead and starting your farm off, if you do choose to pick this location right here. So what we're going to do here really quick is we're going to hop in the truck. We're going to kind of drive around here and take a look at the farm because it is a little spread out here. It's pretty neat looking. So this is that custom facility right here where you can go ahead and repair all your vehicles. And as we come up here, you have your house where you do have your sell point. Pretty darn slick. Let's head up over here, and as you can see the way this map is set up, your vehicles do start out in the field ready to rock and roll. Pretty darn slick if you ask me. Now up here we do have a shed, and it's a pretty neat looking shed. I really like how the way this thing operates, and this is one of the sell points that you can go ahead and have. So it's kind of neat having the barn, the typical barn sell point that we're used to seeing from previous versions, right here, right at your farm, so you can go ahead and sell whatever it is that you want to sell. With that being said, you'd probably end up having to, if you want to do something for yourself, some storage or whatnot, that you'd end up having to, I don't know, potentially buy this chunk of land right next to us for $0 and do something, or potentially remove some of this other equipment. Whatever you decide to do, it's up to you. Now, one of the things that we're going to go ahead and look at here really quick is we are going to kind of take a little loop around on the northern half of the map, and then we'll come kind of go through the city and take a look and see what's down below on the southern portion of the map. I do want to stop over here and take a look at this section right here, because all of this stuff around over here is that area that is for sale. So as you can see, well, for sale for $0. As you can see, this portion up here, it is a little hilly. It's not ideal by any means for going ahead and potentially building something on it, but at least if you're looking for something, you possibly could go ahead and jam something in here or there. It's entirely up to you. I kind of understand why it's $0, because it's not ideal for going ahead and really doing much of anything on it. But you do have some little bits and bobs where you could possibly have a sprawling farm set up right there. I think that'd end up being pretty cool. Now, I'm going to give you guys a forewarning right now for those of you who aren't used to seeing what I end up doing here. I like to go ahead and drive off-road. Why is that? Because I feel like going ahead and driving off-road and kind of going through the fields, it gives you a better understanding, a better layout of what you're getting yourself into. Like this field here, you can see there's some undulations to it. It's not terrible. It's not impossible to go ahead and do, but it still gives you that opportunity to go up here, and you may have to upsize your equipment just a hair. It'd be very, 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 very cool. And then up here at the tree nursery, you do have this nice little area right in here, pretty slick. You can probably, if you want to, purchase that, cut those trees down, and then replant to continue the nursery traditions. We're going to kind of come up through here and take a look at this little forestry area because it is pretty neat. You do have all of this stuff up in here. It's fairly dense. It's not too jazzy, but it is. You gotta, if you're gonna go ahead and harvest this area, you're gonna have to kind of keep your eyes peeled. You do have the nice little road to get back over here and do what you need to do, but you do have a lot of small trees in there, so kind of keep that in mind as you're kind of running around here. Now I'm gonna go around this little lake or reservoir or whatever it's right here, so we can get on the other side of it and get ourselves rocking and rolling back through the fields. Now, as you come up here to Field 5 is the most expensive field, and as you can see, it does have quite an incline on it. So not only are you going to want to upsize your stuff to speed the process up, at least that's what I would want to do, you're also probably going to have to upsize your horsepower just a hair to be able to navigate those hills just a little bit. It's not bad. It's kind of rolling and sprawling all over the place, so you'll probably be fine, but still you want to keep your eyes open for it. Now up here, I believe this is the horse. So this is your horse station up here. Again, so you have these nice little areas, and you'll find this, if I can remember to hit all the locations where the animals are. All of the locations up here, you have these nice little buildings up all and about. And you do find that throughout the map, that is a trend. You do find random buildings just popping up all over the place. It does create a very nice atmosphere. Let's say you want to go ahead and you don't have a lot of money, but you don't want to smash directly into that tree. You have that opportunity to be able to get out there and maybe purchase a field that has a shelter on it, and then from there you can go ahead and do the various things that you need to do. It's not too shabby. It gives you the opportunity for a home base, if you will. Let's kind of wander up and around over here. I kind of got myself going around the wrong path, but I guess now you'll know if you end up wandering off the beaten path, you'll know where to go. Oh boy! All right. So I'm gonna take the road here for just a second because we do have some pretty neat scenery coming up over here, where you have these nice iron or steel bridges, railway bridges right there. It's pretty darn cool. I do think they are pretty darn slick. You do also have a water reservoir system that's up here. Again, this is pretty darn slick in some of the stuff that we're seeing here. Pretty darn neat. Pretty darn neat. I do like that. Let's continue on around here and go check out more of the map. Now, I do know we had a Goldcrest Valley map come out already. It was Goldcrest 22. It definitely has a different feel to this. I don't have a lot of reference when it comes to Farm Sim 17. I just don't. That's not my wheelhouse of things that I am aware of. I got really interested in Farming Simulator around Farming Simulator 19. So for me, that was a little bit before me. And it definitely looks pretty neat. Cannot get in there. Okay, wanted to double check that. It definitely looks pretty neat. I was hearing a lot of complaints. The 22 version, the Goldcrest 22 that we had seen come out prior, that it wasn't Goldcrest Valley from 17. Now, from some of the pictures and images I've seen, this one definitely does touch a lot more on that. It really gets a lot closer to what 17 was like. So, pretty cool. Hopefully this makes fans of this particular map, the 17 version, much happier. Either way, I take a look at it as this way. The other one that we had seen, all right, nice little, I like that. I like how that looks. That's super cool. I really do like that. Sorry, kind of geeking out here for a little bit. I take a look at that last one. And I don't want to talk about that one too much because we're not looking at that one. But I take a look at this. If it's a standalone map, I think it's a pretty darn good map. If it's replicating something, I can't judge because I don't know. So coming on over here, as you guys can go about seeing here, we are coming a little bit closer to town where you are seeing a little bit more from different things. You do have some smaller fields that you can jump onto and get yourself involved with, and it does not seem like it's that big of a deal over here. You do have, here's another one of those little places where you have your little storage off to the side of the field. I really do like that. That is super cool. One thing I did want to come about doing is I did want to stop up at this sell point because I just like how this looks. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It's on a hill. It's super cool. I really do like that. But with that being said, you may have some issues potentially getting a semi and trailer up through here and then down without driving on the grass. So if you're trying to do a little bit more of the realism, that may become an issue for you just because of the sheer logistics of everything. I think we're going to take just a quick second here. As you can see, these fields over here are not too shabby at all. They're relatively low to the ground. They are on the ground. They're relatively low rolling if there's any elevation changes. So I think you're going to end up being pretty darn fine when it comes to being able to get like standard horsepower, like 100 horsepower requirement. You probably get by with 100 horsepower tractor or something like that. And this is your cow shed right over here, not too shabby. And let's go ahead and drive this way for just a second longer here. That's another one of those custom sheds that are out here. And yeah, as you can see down here south of the river, pretty much everything is flat. So kind of keep that in mind when you're going about doing things. Now, I wanted to come up over here for one particular reason, because this bridge right here is a very narrow bridge, and this is going to create a pinch point if you need to get across. So if you need to come down over here and you have larger equipment to take care of this, this may not be the path for you. You probably are going to have to look at some other route to get over here. And at this point right here, I think what I'm going to go ahead and do, since we've kind of circled around, not the entire map, we kind of circled around the map, let's come on over here and reset this so you guys can see where this ends up going. Comes right over here at the shop. Not too shabby, not too shabby. We're going to take and drive around here through town just a little bit, mainly to see, okay, you buy something new, how can I get out of here? Am I going to be able to get out of here without too much of an issue? And the answer is yes, especially if you're starting off on that main farm. You got this goofy angled intersection right here. You have a little bit of traffic out here, but then you have a nice big highway to get yourself through to wherever you need to go. So keep that in mind if you need to get yourself back home after buying something. You do have that stuff happening right there. So that's pretty darn cool. And if you do have to kind of navigate yourself through town, the roads are relatively wide. You're really not going to have too many issues. I did do a little bit of driving around over here before, and I did not end up seeing any particular traffic running through here. So if you need to kind of maneuver yourself around here, you will be fine with all of this. It is pretty darn slick. So you do have that going for you, and I think at this point right here, we're going to kind of come up over here by this little, park-looking area. Stop for just a second. And at this point, we're going to go ahead, we're going to jump out. If you guys don't mind, I think we'll go ahead, fly up into the sky and take a look at this map from above. All right, just taking a second, looking over this nice little waterway, and up we go into the air to take a look and see what this bad mamma jamma looks like from up above. Now, like I said, my point of view on this map here, along with everything else that I'm doing here, is this, I was not involved with 17. It was not part of my wheelhouse. With that being said, I have an open view of this is a brand new map to me. And to me, this looks absolutely beautiful. I really can understand why this has been a fan favorite of the farm sim community. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love the way the farm is set up. It is super, super cool. The buildings are neat. The layout, the fields, the winding roads. I think FS17 did a great job when they picked this as one of their starting maps. This really is cool. Like I was saying, you do have options on what you want to do. You do have possibilities where you want to go. For the most part, you're pretty safe buying any field out here, sight unseen. You're really not going to have to worry about horsepower requirements too much. Maybe every once in a while you'll run into a little bit of a hill or a bump, mainly on that portion of the map over there. I believe that's northwestern portion of the map. You really do have a nice little setup here. I can't wait to jump on this one. This one is super, super cool. I'm excited for it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one too. For those of you who have played FS17 in the past, let me know, how does this stack up to the way that 22 looks, to this version? How does this stack, or this version here, how does this version stack up to the way that FS17 stacked up? Comment down below, let me know what you have to say. Guys, download this one, let me know what you think about it. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, liking what you're hearing, go ahead and smash that like button. Hit the subscription. It really does help the channel out a ton. It really does help the channel out a ton. Go ahead, hit that notification bell, turn it on, and have it set to all. That way you know when this and other great videos are coming out by myself. Guys, go ahead and share this with somebody who played FS17 in the past. Let them know that this might be the next version of something they love. I don't know. Oh boy, guys, I tell you what. I can't wait to see you back out on the road. Until we get to that point, thanks for stopping by.